Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show,
a weekly podcast from your new internet book besties.
We discuss all things spicy books and mix in a little bit of motherhood, life, self-care, and everything in between.
So sit back,
grab a beverage,
and let's chat.
Hello, and welcome to the Smut Show. I'm Neely.
And I'm Rachel, and today we have Laura Bishop with us. Laura writes books about obsessive men, clever women, and the dangerously thin line between love and psychological warfare. She lives in sunny Florida. I almost said Philadelphia.
No.
Because that would be very wrong. Sunny Florida, where the skies are blue, the humidity is high, and her search history is a federal red flag. That made me laugh. A military spouse and full-time wrangler of two wildly energetic boys, Laura survives on caffeine, chaos, and the occasional quiet moment when everyone's finally asleep, aka prime writing time.
When she's not plotting morally gray love stories with unhinged fictional boyfriends, she's daydreaming about what it would be like to have a personal assistant who doesn't eat goldfish crackers for breakfast. I mean, then don't
Listen,
ever
I still
hire
eat
me.
goldfish crackers.
I was like, don't hire me.
That's only a reference to a toddler, not...
Yeah.
But I mean, love you guys too. That's totally fine.
Love Me, Stalk Me is her debut in the world of dark romantic comedy where every red flag is just another reason to fall harder. Laura, thank you for joining us. We're so happy.
Thank you for
to
being here.
So glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me on.
We also each have two kids, so we totally understand.
So you get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have one of each. I have a boy and a girl. Rachel has two girls.
Yeah.
So it's very... We have all the perspectives on the show today.
We do. Truly.
You know what it's like? I saw somebody talk yesterday about Rachel. I meant to text you this, and then someone asked me for goldfish, probably. But I saw somebody talk about how the chicest moms are moms of two girls.
I don't know that I would consider myself chic, but thank you so much for saying that.
I was like, oh, okay, but moms of boys are not chic ever. Okay,
I'm
great.
I'm definitely not.
I almost feel like
I'm definitely not.
Really? Okay, I kind of feel like boy moms are tend to be, I feel like, because they are I don't know if they're looking for some femininity, bringing that back to their lives, but I feel like all the boy moms that I know are very chic, whereas me, I'm just I've got too much estrogen floating around already, so I don't really need to be more.
I have one of each, so I'm just a slob kebab. But
you're just there.
We are.
But I love that. That's an interesting theory.
I'm just tired. I think what we can all agree on is we're just.
And how old are they?
1 and 2.
Oh, girl. Rachel and I both just said that.
It hurts.
Help me.
The way Rachel and I just said the same thing and made the same full body reaction to that.
I am told it gets better.
It does.
I'm like, I hope so.
Mine are, dear God, I hope.
Mine are almost 9 and almost 6.
Okay.
It gets different. I mean, I wouldn't you'll sleep more-ish, but
I feel like it's better simply because I'm a happier person because I am sleeping more.
Okay, you'll sleep more and they'll be more independent, but they'll be way more annoying.
Yeah. They'll
say things like 6, 7, and you're like,
my
get out of my face with your weird Gen Alpha slang.
Yeah. We're not there yet. My kids aren't cool enough for that.
Old. I feel like I have to look stuff up now.
All I do is look stuff up that my son says.
Yes.
That's
I went to a Starbucks and somebody said, I was talking to somebody and she made me my drink and we were talking about something and she goes, oh, that slaps. And it was the first time that I had heard that phrase. And I was just like, the way she said it, I was like, okay, it must be a good thing. She's saying it's a good thing.
Almost 6-year-old daughter told me I looked busted. I was like, ma'am. First, I knew unfortunately, I knew what it meant.
You knew by context.
You can infer, yeah.
But I'm also like, why do you know what that means? You are but a kindergartner.
Yeah.
And what's happening at your school?
These youths. I can't.
Youths.
Yeah, I don't know. My kids, I guess, aren't in tune with the youths, which I'm fine with.
Well, mine aren't really talking, so
yeah.
Enjoy that part.
I don't know.
It's nice when they can tell you what they need. It's hard,
but yours are still contained at night. You know what I mean? Like you still have them in like.
They are. We're getting to the point where they might not be like the one of them, the older one, because he's about to turn 3. So it's kind of that like question mark of like,
girl, until he crawls out of that, you just leave it.
My son crawled out of his crib at 2.5. And he was, at 2 and was promptly moved to a bed. My daughter, we forcibly removed from her crib at 4. Because I'm like, me having to come in here and get you out of your crib to pee at night is getting old. But she still is like, I miss my crib. I'm like, you are almost.
If they like it, you just leave them there. They're happy. They're contained.
So we forced her out of the crib and she was pissed.
Okay. Like, mine will put his leg. He's super tall. He's in 5 T's and he's almost 3.
That was my son.
So he'll put his leg over the side of the crib and then he'll like look at you and be like, and you're like, no, and he won't. Like he's like afraid to do it.
So, he's like the oldest child. No. He's like, I'll follow the rules. Yeah, if you tell me not to.
I don't know about that, but but it's like, I don't know. It's like I think he's afraid to fall. And so I'm kind of like, okay, I'm okay with that. Like, you know, like, a healthy fear of heights is a good thing.
For sure. Yeah. Healthy fear is good. All right, let's dive into our 1s and 5s. Neely, do you want to get us started on our 1 stars and 5 stars for the week?
Okay. My 1 star is that I saw the movie Regretting You. And I have to talk about it.
Is that the new one that's out? I'm so confused. We talked about this on our episode
it's the one I was telling you. I can say this because it's not a spoiler, because 1, the movie's out, 2, the book's been out for years and Rachel will not ever read or watch either. But it is a Colleen Hoover book to movie adaptation. Let me preface by saying I did not watch It Ends With Us because I can't support that movie for a lot of reasons. But I wanted to see this one because I did like this book and I like everyone in the cast. And I just removed Colleen Hoover from it. And I was like, I am just pretending this is a movie. Thank God I read the book because there were so many plot holes in the movie and so many major. Okay, here's an example.
Wait, is this the one? Okay, we were confused because multiple of her book to movie adaptations coming out involve a car crash. So I cannot ask you.
This one has a car crash. So
this one is the one with the car crash, but they all have car crash.
Okay. This is the one where it's a husband and the woman's sister are having an affair and they get in a car crash together and they both die.
Okay. Yes.
Happens early in the story. This isn't an ending of the.
No,
I'm spoiling anything
on the trailer. Yes,
it's in the trailer. Okay. All have been friends since high school. Like the sister's fiance and her have a baby. You come to find out that the baby is actually not his baby. Okay. And in the book, this is revealed to the 17-year-old daughter eventually. Not in the movie. We like talk about it for 0.2 seconds. Never brought up again that it is not his baby.
But is it her dad's baby?
Yeah. Obviously.
So it's her sister.
It's brother, but yeah.
Oh, brother. Whatever.
But the main focus,
half sister, I guess.
The book focuses a lot on like the mom and then in the relationship with the mom and the sister's fiance, because he's been in love with her since high school, but like they were never together. Nothing ever happened. But after like the cheating and the dying, like eventually they get together. But it's like a long. Sorry, guys. I said
cheating
that
and the dying.
So insensitive. I am talking about this movie like I feel about it, which is badly. And they finally get together. But in the book, it's like very like listen, I am not a Colleen Hoover apologist by any stretch. But in the book, it's like everything is done at like a good pacing. The movie's pacing is just.
Listen, I have nothing against Colleen Hoover and her books. I just know that they are not going to be like they're all sad, and I don't want to read that.
Against Colleen Hoover as a person, but I have read every one of her books except the scary ones. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But the pacing of this movie was so insane, and the other thing is in the trailer, it definitely cosplays as a rom-com. Like the trailer is cosplaying as a rom-com. Rachel and I have talked in depth multiple times about our how much we hate when a movie trailer cosplays as a rom-com and it's like depressing and people die. Like,
or like they don't end up together and you're like,
it's like viewer expectation versus what they deliver, right? Like you set an expectation and then you go in and the delivery is not there, and that's that's what makes people mad.
Yes. I will almost guarantee you that most of the people, I think this is like very marketed for the younger generation. There's a love story between two 17-year-olds in it that is not the main part of the book, but is 1000% the main part of the movie. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I know who it's marketed towards, right? Like we've got like really good music in it. This feels
like when we were really into like Nicholas Sparks.
Yes.
Like Colleen Hoover feels like the Nicholas Sparks of the younger generation.
Yes.
Where like 1000%. I cried a lot.
Although I will still watch A Walk to Remember and love
Sparks.
Everything A Walk to Remember has to offer.
But there was those traumas, those Nicholas Sparks traumas that led me to where I am now, where I'm like, no, I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to be sad.
I was watching this movie and I'm just like, surely like it gets better, right? And I'm just it just made the whole time I was thinking, this is why I prefer a TV book to movie or a TV adaptation to a movie adaptation.
There's so much more time.
The movie adaptations just very rarely get where I want them to go. Like it is just so rare that when I watch a movie adaptation of a book I really enjoyed, I am fulfilled and I'm every day that it gets closer to the people we meet on vacation, the more concerned I get about this movie.
I feel like that's one that can be done in I don't know.
I think it could be done in a movie, but like,
and
this really could have been done in a movie. Just this was not
off the rails.
I hope we all forget that it happened. That's my 1 star because it took 2 hours of my life I can't ever get back. My 5 star is that we're halfway through this week, and I don't really enjoy Halloween. I don't enjoy the fact that my kids have a dress up day every day this week at school.
Our dress up days are so like a mom who is like, I'm done with the dress up days is the one who came up with our dress up days this week, because it's like today was wear red day.
We had that last Thursday. This has been going on for 1 full week now. Okay. And I have 2 more days of this nonsense. Also my 5 star is that it actually feels like fall outside. It's aggressively windy, but it is sweater weather. I'm here for it. I'm sorry that my 1 star was just me bitching about watching this movie, but I'm doing this as a favor to you all listening. That if you wanted to go, if you are an elder millennial hoping that this movie is going to hit for you, please go in with your expectations in the basement. That's it. That's all I've got.
That's it from Neely. Laura, what about you? Your 1s and 5s?
Me? I'm supposed to have 1s and 5s?
Yes, you get to have 1s and 5s.
No idea.
Okay, well,
I didn't know that was like, I needed to...
Yeah, what's been the best part of your week?
The best and worst part of my week?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm so tired, you guys. I don't even, I don't know, like, God, I'm just like in like I don't want to say a rut, you know what I mean? But I'm just kind of like going from one thing to the next. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like my week has been, this is very on par for me. Like this is very on brand where someone will be like, hey, Laura, here are the rules. The rules are that you have to give 1 star and then you have to give a 5 star. And I'm like, oh, hey, that's really fun. I'm not going to actually follow your rules. I'm going to do something completely different.
Really, I have a 3 star and that's what I'm going to give you.
Embrace that. I'm just going to say everything for me has just been 3 stars.
Like we do that. Rachel and I do that. We do that a lot where we'll be like, we don't really have 1s or 5s. Everything's just been like,
just
like, happening.
Yeah, I haven't crashed out about anything, which is good, right? You know what I mean?
You're not saying yay to everything.
Yeah, that's right. Like I haven't really had anything where I'm like, oh yeah, like this is super exciting. Well, I can make like my 5 star like today. Like I get to talk to you girls. Like that's a 5 star moment for me, right?
I love that.
So, because being an author can be very lonely, and so like actually having like human interaction is probably a good thing for my mental health.
I mean, I work for myself too, so and my husband used to work at home with me up until a few weeks ago. So that was my human interaction. He is now back in the office full time. So he gets home and I'm like a dog. I'm like, talk to me. Talk to me. Pay
Talk to
attention
me.
to me.
Yeah.
Because my kids get home and they're like, I'm sorry, we've been talking to people all day.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Yeah.
do that now.
Oh, that sounds
So-
lovely, actually.
You're like, oh, that's so great.
I would love some alone time from them.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter
No.
literally yesterday, I couldn't find her. And I'm like, Charlotte, where are you? She's like, I'm watching my tablet. Where? In my closet.
Oh, Lainey will come home and go up to her room and read. And I'm like, where's Lainey? And she's just in her room reading.
Charlotte, literally, her favorite thing to do is she'll lay pillows and blankets on the floor of her closet and just like
I
lay
love
down
that.
in there and chill.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know, like it's dark and it's quiet. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
like
We
just-
really need to do that.
Too
I've got
big.
a
I get
pack and
it.
play.
Yeah.
I got a pack and play set up in Lainey's closet right now, but I feel like for a friend who was coming over with their baby, but I feel like she would really like to be in her closet.
maybe
So
she'll go
I
in the
need to,
pack and play.
I could actually see her doing that. I could see not finding her and then finding her in the pack and play.
I
So,
feel like
I don't know.
that's like a valid thing. It's the vibe I get.
It's the vibe
Mhm.
for sure. Okay, I'm similarly like I don't really have like highs and lows. My high would be that like the weather is phenomenal here. We're in Texas, Laura, and as you know, as a Floridian, it's hot all the time.
Gross most of the time.
yeah.
It was like 90 a few days ago. Like it was
like
warm.
just terrible, and I hate that. And I love Halloween, and so I'm very excited about this week. I'm glad that there are cooler temps coming in. We do like a big Halloween party at our house and do like chili and stuff, and people will leave from there and go trick-or-treating. And so
we're having chili tonight, but we're doing the same thing where people are coming
chili.
over and we're doing pizza on Friday and then going
Yes,
trick-or-treating.
that's become a bit of our tradition. We don't host any other holidays at our house, so we do Halloween. But it's so fun, and people bring we're bringing a bunch of, I'm like, it's almost like a chili cook-off at this point. A bunch of people are bringing chili, so I'm going to just sample all of the chili. I'm very excited. So yeah, that's my week. No really lows, just that. Okay, what is a recent read or watch or listen, Neely, that you have? I mean, we know about
I'm not going to talk about regretting
other than
you
that.
anymore. What I will say, I can't say too much because Rachel hasn't watched it yet, but I watched all of Nobody Wants This.
Oh my God.
Every single episode. I laughed, I cried, I giggled, I kicked my feet. I love that show so much that I know the reviews have been like very mixed. Like some people are like, I loved this season. Some people were like, it wasn't good. My dad didn't like it, but like he didn't like it because the mother and like Adam Brody's character's mom isn't in it as much. And that is his favorite person on the show. Like he would watch a show that was just about her in a second. But I loved it. I love every character on that show. I think the chemistry between all the characters is so good. It is so funny. It better be renewed for a third season.
I think it's interesting. I feel like people, because I've kind of seen the same thing where it's been a little bit mixed, but I think that is because people like watching people fall in love or reading about people fall in love, but they don't like the real life. And I'm like, that's kind of,
But I think of that show like I think of books we read. Like exactly. Sure. It's like, it is just like, I want a book to make me kick my feet. Like I want to giggle. Like I want to laugh. I want to cry. I want to feel a range of emotions. And that is what I like. But whoever, like not whoever, because I know who created the show, they need to do like millions of more shows. Like it is just so smart. The humor is so good. I mean, I think a lot of it is the casting. I really do. Like, I feel like they also had Leighton Meester on an episode of it who's married to Adam Brody.
Yeah.
And she is so funny, which is such a treat because I feel like, I've really only seen her in Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
So it's like seeing a different side of her was really funny and like seeing them on screen together. Like it's just such a good show. So if you haven't watched any of it, like if you're one of those people who's like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, you'll love it. I don't know anybody who watched it and was like, no, it's not the vibe. Have you seen it, Laura?
I have not. I don't have time to watch or read right now. It's really sad.
I mean, I get that.
I don't like it because I feel like it impacts my writing. Like, you know what I mean? Because, ultimately at the end of the day, like, I have ideas and stuff like that, but then being able to like take yourself out of your own world and go into other people's worlds for a bit is very cathartic. And I think it helps like not to exhaust your own creative energies. And so I really haven't had time to like watch or read anything, just with all of the deadlines that I have and just everything that's going on. And that's been kind of sad for me. So I have like
what
a
is
very, very
something
long
you
list.
would like to watch or read?
Oh my gosh. See, I'm so out of it. Like, I don't even like, I'm so behind on everything. Right. You know what I mean? Like I saw like, I was like on TikTok the other day and I saw like somebody had like used a sound from Euphoria or something, the show. And I was like, I don't even seen this show. And it's like,
I haven't watched Euphoria
done.
on purpose. I
Okay.
don't think I can handle it.
Okay. Yeah.
Having
So I'm just like, I don't know.
having a girl has made me not want to watch anything about teenage girls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would
Except
like
for
to
like
go in.
John Tucker Must Die. I would rewatch that.
I like that energy.
Okay.
Or Princess Diaries. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
that's the kind of energy I need to channel into my daughter.
Yeah.
And if I watch Euphoria, I will be like, oh, this is too real. Like
Too real.
I'm sure this is happening. And I don't. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Laura, do you listen to anything while you write? Like, do you listen to music?
Yeah, I listen to lo-fi, like the lo-fi girl, like on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I just think that's kind of what I turn on to listen to, just because I feel like it just kind of zens me out. Which I need as like in general, I need to be zenned out. So
my husband listens to a lot of that too while he's working. Like puts him in the zone. Guys like lo-fi beats. On Spotify.
Yeah, it just like, I don't know. I'm probably some sort of like undiagnosed like ADHD. As I
he's
like,
very
as all of my
diagnosed
notifications
ADHD.
are going off, and I'm trying to like mute them. Can you still hear me like now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like muted stuff, and I was like, but I hope I'm not muting myself. Yeah, I'm probably like some form of undiagnosed something. And so like my brain's just like super, super active all the time. And so then when I'm like trying to sit and write, if I don't have like something to occupy some form, like part of my brain, like music, I will just end up like, I'm just like a squirrel. I'm like, like, what's this? I had this thought. Like, I'm gonna go open a tab and go on Google and like figure this out. Like, right? Like, so it's just, I just need
that's
that
science, Laura.
energy.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. I said that's science.
Yeah, that's right.
Science.
I am very scientific. Yes.
Yeah, neuroscience. I love it. Okay, I'm reading Love Me, Stalk Me now. I'm early in
a solid 3-star read, you guys.
Solid, yeah. I love that so much.
Like on Instagram, and they'll tag me, and they're like, "I'm starting the book," and I'm like, "Solid 3 stars."
Yeah, like it's about 3. Yeah, that's hilarious. No, I'm sure it's gonna be a 5-star read. I don't rate anything. I don't rate. No. I don't rate books anymore. So I'm going to just enjoy it for what it is.
I like that.
Yeah. I know I got rid of my Goodreads a long time ago, and it's been so lovely. Now I just read because I enjoy it.
Nice.
So I'm reading that, and then I'm watching. So I have not ever been a Dancing with the Stars girly. Okay, it's just not me. But this season, I have talked before about how Zac Efron was like my high school musical came out at the right time for me.
Is Dylan Efron your current crush?
He's so hot. I'm like, he is fulfilling my High School Musical,
like
who
the
knew?
All these
hole
years.
in my heart. He's so hot, and he's a reader. I don't know if you knew this. He's a romantasy reader, and like I am obsessed with that. Also, Robert Irwin, who I think is a little too young for me to be saying that he's hot, but
I am
he's
team
also
Whitney
hot.
Leave It. I didn't love her or love it or whatever her name is, but watching her on Dancing with the Stars has made me love her. And I'm not even somebody who watches Dancing with the Stars. I just go on TikTok the next day and I watch I don't watch the show. There's
mostly
too much
how I do it.
Fluff.
Sometimes I will, like last night we watched it live, but I don't always do that. A lot of the times I just go back and watch the dances. But I'm enjoying this season. I don't typically enjoy Dancing with the Stars because I don't really want to watch people who are not good at dancing. But this season, most of them are pretty good. That being said, did either of y'all watch So You Think You Can Dance when it was out?
Not one season. Not one episode.
I feel like I definitely saw clips of it online. I don't think I ever watched an episode.
It was my favorite show. I watched it religiously. It was something that when my husband Brian and I met, we bonded over because we both were like religious So You Think You Can Dance watchers. And watching Dancing with the Stars this season makes me like crave a comeback of So You Think You Can Dance. So I'm manifesting that to happen. I'm fingers crossed. I've manifested things before, so I feel like that's not out of the realm of possibility. I manifested the Hercules musical on Broadway, so
and
I guess it's in London right now, but
seen it, but we all thank you for that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either, but I will.
Well, you did a service to
Well, it's in London right now, but when it comes here, things will change.
Yeah.
But yes, I do feel as though I manifested that. Just me. No, nobody else. So, all right, let's dive into the interview. Are y'all ready?
No. Yes.
What if I said no? Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, that's it. It was great chatting with you.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Okay, Laura, tell us your villain origin story. So just basically how you got to where you are today, and it can be as much or as little as you would like for it to be.
Yeah. So it took me a really long time to actually realize that I wanted to be an author and wanted to be a writer. I think I went down like a whole bunch of paths in life, and I didn't necessarily know that like, this was the path that I was supposed to go down. And it's so funny because if I had actually like taken a step back and taken some time to breathe and just take a look at like what my interests were in life versus like what people were telling me I should be doing with my life, I think I would have come to the conclusion a lot like sooner. But I think it takes us time as people, maybe as women, to kind of like take a step back and say, okay, what are my interests independent of who I'm around? And so, yeah, I mean, I went down a whole bunch of different paths, but I'd been writing and reading like copiously since I was like little. I have it around here somewhere. I actually found my elementary school and into middle school binder where I was like handwriting books when I was really young. My parents would always like shove us like, because originally I grew up in Connecticut, and we had a bunch of relatives in Florida, so my parents would always like pack all of us. I'm the last of three. They would pack all of us into this giant Econoline van that we had and then drive us 24 hours down to Florida. Like my gosh, as an adult now, I'm like, oh,
that's insane.
My God.
Yeah.
Like what?
But honestly. I feel like that was a lot of our childhoods. Like our parents were like
95.
Yeah, like they were just like get in the back of the car.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. And I remember sitting on 95 handwriting books. And then I remember like when I was in middle school, I finally got my first computer in my room and then I was able to type stuff. Yeah. And I still have it. I have like typed out chapters of my fantasy novel that I was writing at the time. And so it took me a really long time. And I was when I was in school, I remember there was like this one time where I was supposed to be doing this final exam and I didn't want to do it. I was just like in the middle of the final exam. It was one of those ones where you had like 24 hours to do it, right? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like, in class, but that would have been way more badass. But no, I mean, so I had like 24 hours to do it and I just could not get my brain to do it. And I sat there and started writing a fan fiction. Like in the middle, I was like, it was writing this like historic preservation seminar final exam. And I was just like, I do not want to write this right now. This is not what I want to write. What I want to write is smut about this show that I watched.
Yeah. So please. What show was it? I need to know.
No. So embarrassing. I cannot. Off air, I might tell you.
Okay. Tell us off air.
Yeah.
Off air,
I like how she goes, no. It's very rare that anybody tells us their fanfic ship. Very rare.
No, I know.
So because off air, you can tell us.
People like hunted me down afterwards. Like when I kind of made the switch. Oh yeah. Like when I made the switch, like I still to this day get some emails from people that are like, hey, it took me a really long time to find you. And I'm like, I know, that's because I didn't want to be found.
I mean, I will say I didn't know fanfic existed until Rachel and I started doing this podcast.
Okay, yeah. But I just I didn't want to write what I was writing. I wanted to write something else. And so I just started writing it. And then I was writing this one and it was just like doing really well. Like everybody was like, I had a lot of people like commenting all the time. I put out chapters and it became my thing that like on a nightly basis. I would go and I would write like a 2,000 to 2,500 word chapter. And then I would post it and then I would go to bed. And it was just like, I really enjoyed it. And so, you know, as a lot of authors did, I kind of like tried, you know, making the leap into like Amazon, but then you make the leap and you have no idea what you're doing, right? Because it's a completely different platform. Everything about it is different. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like how it all started for me in a really embarrassing way. I just didn't think that was what I was going to share with all of you guys. But here we are. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Love that so much. We love fanfic around here, so listen, nothing to be embarrassed about.
The stigma for it is like, there's not a stigma. I feel like at the time, maybe there was a stigma. Like if I had told people in school I was with that, like, hey, I was writing this, they would have been like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do think it's been much more mainstreamed, obviously, and so I don't think it's a weird. I don't think it's a weird thing anymore, but it's funny because there were so many authors that got their start in writing fanfic. And it's because it's kind of like I feel like it's a much lower stakes way of like being creative and writing.
And people expect you to have like errors and stuff like that. They're not gonna like there's no like rating system like you were talking about with like getting rid of your Goodreads. Like there's no rating system, which is a very difficult thing to get used to too when you like are a person that, you know, generally thrives on positive feedback.
Like it's wants like validation.
Right. Like, you know, like I mean, it's like, you know, it's like something I'm gonna like try and find a therapist and work with them on. But
I love
you know,
that.
like it's a thing. Like, right, like sometimes like we seek external validation from sources, and then when you don't get that, it can be very difficult, right? Because you're almost like putting yourself out there more. But like with that platform, nobody's like leaving. I don't think so. I can't remember, but I don't think there was like a rating system where they were like, oh, like, you know, this or that for your story. It was just like people would leave comments, and if the comments, you know, a lot of the times comments were positive, and they were like, we want more. And so that was very encouraging, and that was like a great way to kind of dive in. But yeah, I mean, I just like, it just took me so long to realize that I wanted to write, you know what I mean? And try, and then have the realization that, okay, I want to write, but I want to write in such a way that I actually can make this what I do. Right. That was also like a big leap and a difficult leap. And that doesn't happen for everybody like that. I'm very fortunate that that's seemingly starting to happen for me. And so, cause you know, a lot of people write the most amazing books, amazing books. And if it just doesn't get visibility or get seen, right, then we'll never know about it. It almost makes me sad. Like think about all the amazing books out there that like written by someone who doesn't know how to market themselves, right? And we'll never know, you know? So that would be my 1-star moment. That
I know
out there that we need.
I'm depressed when I think about that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, so what made you decide, like, why dark romance? And then why, like, specifically Love Me, Stalk Me? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So it's dark, but I like to say that it's like dark light, you know, like the free versions of apps where they're like, it's LITE, like light. Like so it's that, right? It's not super, super dark. And I think that I would struggle to write something like super, super dark. I know a lot of people are very, very good about that. And there's a lot of stuff in the space already for that. But what I love doing in life and in general is like pairing two really opposite things. And so I just had this like crazy idea for this book. It just came to me very organically based on like whatever was going on in my life at the time. And then the idea of like making it dark because of the subject matter, but also then pairing that with like, it's supposed to be funny. Hopefully my humor lands. So, right, like pairing that with the opposite and kind of like seeing what you get. That was kind of like how that all came about.
I do love this kind of like, I feel like we're seeing, I was going to say a resurgence, but it's not really a resurgence, just like a surgence. I don't think that's right. Of like dark rom-coms.
Yes.
You know, like I love that. I think it's fun to kind of, cause I don't, the like super dark, which like there, like you said, there's a lot of that out there and that, and a lot of people really enjoy that obviously, or it wouldn't be the genre that it is. But I think it's fun for those of us who do tend to like more of like the comedy aspect of it. It's like, I have nothing against dark romance. I've just never like gotten into it because it's typically like heavy, really heavy. But
Yeah,
I feel like
really
this,
heavy.
yeah, but I feel like the like dark rom-com is much more like, it's like, oh, this is red flags, but funny.
But fun. Like,
Yeah.
my thing too is like, it's another thing I probably need to talk to a therapist about, is like, I deflect through humor. So if there's like something going on in my life that is like a difficult thing or something like that, or like, you know, a deep thing, I always end up making a joke about it. It's a toxic trait. So
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, like I think I just channeled that sort of energy into the book, right? And so a lot of this book is very personal for me. It was actually kind of a scary thing to write, because it's super, super personal about like my hopes, desires, failed relationships, you know, all of that type of stuff, like kind of wrapped up into these characters, insecurities, all of that is like wrapped up into these characters. And then like making fun of it, right? Like it is a way to, I guess, like, I don't know, like make it not so heavy for myself, right?
Yeah.
And so I think like it just kind of like that's like who I am as a person. Like this book is literally like who I am as a person. And so it's so funny because as I've seen the reviews come in, there was like one review where the girl, she read it and she tagged me in the review. So then I felt like, I'm just one of those people, like, I'm not offended by it. Have whatever opinion you want.
Like,
I'm going to respond, though. I'm going to engage
I'm going
with
to
you,
respond.
right? Like, I am not, people are always like, don't say anything, Laura. Like, not in just with books, like in general with life. They're like, Laura, keep your mouth shut. And I'm like, no.
Couldn't be me. Yeah.
So she like, and it wasn't a bad review, but she was like, oh, I was so annoyed by the main character. Like, I felt like her reasons for, you know, doing XYZ were totally ridiculous. And I was just like, I wrote back to her and I was like, hey, the main character is totally me. And I agree with you that my decisions in that moment were also ridiculous. But I am
totally
here to say that, that I did live that. And I'm sorry I annoyed you.
Sorry, you were annoyed by me. That's so awkward.
You know, like
that is so funny.
Annoyed you.
I feel like that's very common though. Like you hear a lot of people who are like the unlikable female main character. They're like, everybody's like, I don't like this character, and the author's like, awkward because that's me.
I mean,
she is I am she.
Right? You're not supposed to like her in the beginning. You are supposed to be annoyed with her, and you're either supposed to be annoyed with her because I feel like you fall into like this book falls into like for her character specifically. Readers are kind of and women are going to fall into two categories. They're either the category of women that have put up with bad toxic relationships and know what that feels like, right?
Yeah,
and know what it feels like to be in this relationship and to say to yourself, I know that this isn't right. I know I'm not being treated right. I should leave, right? And that you feel totally helpless to do it for whatever your reason is. It could be financial, it could be emotional manipulation. It doesn't matter what your reason is. It's just the idea that you have deeply experienced this idea of, I know this isn't right, but I don't know what to do about it. And then you just let the behavior continue. So you have that group of women. And then you have what is essentially encapsulated in the female main character's best friend, Amanda, is the other group of women, which is like, what are you doing? Like,
I would have been in the first group before I met my husband. I was the first group of women.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can identify with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. It's like you can identify with that and relate to that. And that's like, I wrote that because that was something that like I have experienced, right?
Yeah.
And then you have that second group of women who are the women in your life or, you know, men, whoever it is, like your friend. It just encapsulates like a type of person that is like shouting at you, hey, this isn't right. You don't have to put up with this. You should leave, right? You are worth more than you are being treated. And I think for some people that maybe are in the second group that have never experienced the first group, like they will be annoyed by the female main character, just as the female main character's best friend is annoyed by her in the book, right?
Yeah.
So, because it just doesn't make sense to them. Why are you staying? Why are you doing this?
Right.
But it's, I mean, like writing and putting things out there, putting content out there, it's just, it is a lesson in humility because it teaches you very, very quickly that not everybody is going to like you and that that's okay. You know?
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Yeah, I think that's a lesson that you learn through getting the feedback on, especially in your debut. I mean, it can happen with at any time, I guess, but like for me it was like, okay, I'm now getting feedback, and I had to really kind of come to terms with like what feedback am I listening to? Like what's who is important to listen to in this moment?
That's
and
true too.
like figuring that out, I think, is something that any creative really goes through, of like which voice is the voice that's important to listen to, like yours, obviously,
that's
but
so
then
true.
like from the people, because I do think that feedback is really important, but like I think there's also like by the time something's being published, like when people are like tagging you in reviews, I'm like, what, you think I'm going to change I'm not going to change the character now, like it's out.
Let me call up my publisher and tell them to cancel all of the printing.
Yeah, like no, we're not doing that because one person says that, you know, they're annoying, but it's a learning curve for sure.
It's all good. Yeah. I mean, and it's all good. You know what I mean? So there's like, you know, there's the like phrase, which is like, if one person calls you an asshole, you can probably ignore it. But if like 10 people are calling you an asshole, you should maybe like think about it yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the way that you approach, and that's the way that like I'm approaching the feedback, which is like, okay, if I'm getting consistent feedback where people are saying that they are annoyed by this or that, like, and it's very consistent, then that's something that like I can always take a look at, right?
Yeah.
But so much of these books are my own like internal explorations of like who I am as a person and like the issues that I'm dealing with. It was funny, we had a call with the publisher team, the very first call, and this kind of came up like, where did you get the idea for this book? And I was like, oh, my problems. Like that's how I come up with ideas for books. It's like
Neely just choked on her coffee.
I took a huge sip of hot coffee, and then you said that, and I was like, I'm about to spit this all over my computer.
Yeah, and I was like, but don't worry, I have a lot. So, you know, I have a lot of material to write for future
more
books.
to come.
You're talking about like, will there be a series and stuff like that? And I was like, I have
for
material.
Sure. Yeah, I got more problems. Don't you worry about it. Yeah.
I was telling my therapist yesterday that if I started writing books about my childhood trauma, I was like, I don't think I would have enough time in my life to write them all. Like I have so much.
I know.
So much to do, guys.
Won't run out of material for sure. I love that. Okay, so you talked a little bit about this, but like, what's the process been like with your debut? Like, what has that been like for you?
It's been such a whirlwind because I had this idea for this book. I have a person that I've worked with in the past that is a graphic designer, and so I was kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna try and design a cover myself, right? Like, let's hire people who like know what they're doing, and let's believe in myself. Like I wrote this book, and then it was like this idea that you have to kind of like believe in yourself enough that people would relate to the book and would want to read it. And then that leads to, okay, then I feel like I can justify sort of like spending money on it. Right. And so I asked him to make the cover, and he came back with like the original cover concept. And like, we made a few tweaks here and there, but for the most part, it was like spot on. And so Atria, like for the most part, kept the cover the same. Like the original, if you saw the indie cover, like is slightly rotated. So it looks, you have like the phone edges, right? So it's like slightly rotated. And then the only thing we really changed was my author name. Like it matches this font, and in the original different font. And the original cover concept, like my designer did this in red, and I was like, no, it has to be hot pink.
Yes.
And we added the speech bubbles, right? Because so much of the book is like text chains back and forth. So just kind of like a little, like, you know, it alludes to that. So, like here's the text chain. Right. And so, and so I put the cover out, we had the cover reveal, and it just like generated buzz in a way that I just could not have anticipated. Right. And I guess this kind of goes to like the idea that you were talking about with like manifesting, believing in yourself, putting like an organic thing out there and putting your organic voice out there, and people will respond to that. Because there was just like, I mean, I had no following on Instagram. I had just started the account. And so the cover reveal went out, and it just got noticed by the right people. And then it was just this like tornado of like, oh my gosh, like, well, now I have an agent, right? Like I had like Kimberly Whalen as my agent, and she's amazing. Like it's so amazing for me because I wrote this book about myself and about a woman who like doesn't see herself the way that other women see her. And then through the process of publishing this book, I ended up getting connected to all of these like, because the entire team that I've been working with is women. And so through this book, I've been connected to all of these like amazing, independent, super like successful women that I really look up to. And Kimberly's one of those people. And so it was just such a whirlwind. So then, like Kimberly, got with me, and then, and then we got the publishing deal for it. And so
so was it ever self-published?
No.
I love that.
No, I was going to. That's why there was like some confusion about like September 26th was going to be the original date that I was going to be published, that I was going to self-publish it. Yeah. But then when Atria picked it up, it got moved to December 2nd. So
yeah. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
And it truly goes to show that like everybody's journey looks so different.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So different.
The way that it works. Okay, so you kind of have talked a little bit about this, but you obviously identify with Izzy in the book. Yeah. Do you feel like you also identify with Cal or Callahan? Which one? I don't know which one.
Yeah, you can call either one.
Too, or is it more of like he was kind of just like the juxtaposition to?
So I don't know that I identify with him. I think that like as a person, right? I think what I identify with, the way that I wrote him is that he is like my idyllic man in a relationship, right? Like, right. So we have the Evan character, which is Izzy's boyfriend when we first open up the book, and he's super toxic and he's putting her down all of the time. These are things that I have experienced in relationships. Like that's the sad thing about it. So these are things that I've experienced in relationships, but then you have this like internal thing in your head where you want more. And that's where Callahan comes in. Like he's the person that, I want that out of relationships. And so that's how I wrote him.
She's coughing, guys. She's fine.
Yeah, we're good. We can adapt.
Sorry, I'm trying not to cough like on audio camera or something. So I'm just muting myself.
Totally
while
fine.
I'm actively dying. Fine. I'm going to be totally fine.
You're
if you don't
totally fine.
Just call So, but yeah, I mean, he's just who I wanted, and he's just like what I wanted and what I, and I mean, he's very idyllic, right? Like there is the reality of a person being like that is maybe a little bit like too, you know what I mean? Like, but it's
fictional. That's what it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the ideal boyfriend for sure. Okay, I have a question for you that I totally forgot to put on the question, so you didn't get to prepare for
it. Great. Okay. All right. Pop
so quiz. Okay, so for those of you who haven't, who don't know about the book yet, she has this toxic boyfriend who's terrible, and then her friend convinces her to download this AI app. Okay, this becomes an AI boyfriend, kind of boyfriend.
Like a spicy chat.
Okay, so AI in like the writing world and the creative world is like a hot topic. So how do you feel like addressing that and like putting that out there? Like what are kind of your thoughts on how that's going to be received?
Yeah. So it made me really like nervous, right? But it was one of those things where I was like, I have this idea for a book. It's based on things that I'm doing in my life right now in terms of like, like I was like low key, like, experimenting with these like spicy chatbots. I was like, okay, you see ads for them, right? My husband's in the military. Like, I was like, he's not always home. I was like, what are these things? I want to know. Right. And so like, I just had this idea where you're like talking to like a spicy AI chat. Like, wouldn't it be so cool if the person like on the other side wasn't fake? It was a person. And I think like that's the distinction, right? So I think a lot of people are worried about AI and the advent of AI in terms of like stealing what is, or stealing or usurping or becoming essentially like coming in and removing the human element out of things.
Correct.
And the entire concept of this book, right, is that it's not really pro AI at all. Like it's just like it's like a rubber duck, right, to hold things in place. But like the actual concept is she's not talking to a computer. She's talking to him. He's mad. He's like, she should not be having to engage. Like, she's this wonderful, beautiful woman and she's not getting what she needs out of her relationship, right? Like, this is his reasoning. This is his. So he's like morally gray, but he's a golden retriever, right? Like, this is like how I made him as a character. And so he has this moment in the book. There's this entire like internal monologue with him where he is struggling with the idea of hacking her phone, because he's like, objectively, I know that it's wrong. To hack
like,
her
I shouldn't do this.
This should not be done. But at the same time, he's like, but at the same time, she is too good to be like seeking like human connection from a computer. Like, I'm not going to let her do that. Right. And so he kind of like in his head is able to justify this idea of taking the place of the computer. So while there is like this concept of AI in it, right, it's not like she the entire time is talking to a human. And the theme of this book and the theme of this series for however long the books go is this idea of turning something that we think is fake into something that is real. How does something that is fake or doesn't have life, or, you know, is like a falsity to us, how do we turn that, how does that become real to us, right? The second book and stuff, which I've been working on really heavily, has this motif of, if anybody's ever read The Velveteen Rabbit, right, which is how do we become real through love, right? So this is like in the beginning of the book, there's this conversation with the skin horse that the Velveteen Rabbit is having, and he's like, well, he's like, well, when you've been loved enough, you become real. And so that is kind of like the theme of these books. And right now, the biggest fake that exists in our world is this AI stuff. And so it's like, how do we turn this something that is fake, something that might be scary for people, into something that is real? So that's kind of like how I expected there to be people. It's so interesting to watch it, right? Because you have conversations with people like in regular life outside of like writing circles and stuff like that. And everybody is so pro AI. Like
it's hard.
They're like, oh, like I don't even use Google anymore. Like I use chat, right? Like all of that type of stuff. And I think there's like a distinction between using it to help you like figure out why your plant is dying, right? Like which I had a conversation with somebody. They were like, oh yeah, like I snapped a picture of my plant and it told me like how much water I needed to give it and sunlight and stuff. There's a difference between that and using it in an artistic way, which is inherently human, and we don't want to do that. And we need to create boundaries for ourselves for that. And so I think that's like kind of the difference.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the conversations that I have around it is like, there's a difference between like generative AI and assistive AI, and like the taking, I love how you described it as like basically taking back this thing that has become like very mainstream, but turning it back like into human interaction. And so,
and that's such a interesting, like the way that you said that too, right? Like that's such an interesting point. So a lot of people are now turning to these AI bots and stuff like that. There was like a New York Times article even before the book was sort of announced, and it made me nervous because I was like, that's the plot of my book.
Like, you're like, oh no.
But like, I mean, where like the whole entire article was that this woman was legitimately like, for herself, she was like, oh yeah, no, I don't want a boyfriend. Like I am in a relationship with chat, right? And like that was the entire article, was like how she had this like relationship with a computer. And so I think like that in and of itself too, like that's kind of what I'm addressing in the book, which is like, oh, hey, like maybe there are things that we can't like, it's important to see what are you missing in your relationships? What are you missing in your relationships with other humans, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, parents, children, whatever. Like, what am I missing? And then how am I going about seeking what I'm missing? And if what you're doing is seeking it through like negative attention channels or like fake avenues like chat, maybe that's not the right place to seek it. Maybe the right place to seek it is doing the hard work and actually admitting to yourself what it is you need. Because it's so easy to just cover it up and go on to these things like chatbots or negative attention seeking, right? But it's a lot harder, but more fulfilling at the end of the day to do the self-work and say to myself, okay, you know what? I'm missing positivity in my relationship with my partner. And instead of going out and seeking that through another means, I just need to have the hard conversation with them and get that from the human source that I'm supposed to be getting through, right? So
it's hard. It's hard to be a human.
It really is hard to be.
Valid.
It's hard to be a human.
Yeah.
Okay. Any advice for aspiring authors?
So I think the thing is like you have to, I know this sounds really corny, but it is so true. You have to believe in yourself. Like I believed in myself with this book. And I had a lot of, I definitely have had over the course of my career, over the course of different careers that I've had, a lot of like negative voices that come at me that have maybe like prevented me from making the leap the way that I should have or wanted to. And so I think it's so important. It's not going to work for everybody, right? Because this is what I needed at the time. What I needed at the time with this book was to write a book about what I was going through and what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to process it a different way. So I processed it through the characters.
Yeah.
And so for me, my advice based on what I lived, right, which is going to be different because maybe somebody else doesn't need that right now. But my advice based on what I lived is be completely truthful to yourself. If you cannot be truthful to yourself, you will never be able to be truthful to other people in terms of asking them what you need, and you will continue to live very unfulfilled. And so for me, this was the first step of being truthful to myself about what I didn't have in life, what I wanted in life, the difficulties that I've had, things that I've overcome. And I wrote it down. And then I believed in it so much, right, that I was willing to spend money on it that maybe I didn't have at the time, right? Because you're in the hole. Like the book hasn't been published, right? So you're in the hole in terms of like advertising it and like marketing it and getting a cover for it, that, right? Like those are things that you have to believe in yourself enough that people are going to love it and want to read it. In my computer, actually, like when I was like the working title for the book was literally in all caps, the book. Like I was so intent on this book is going to work. Like people, I believed that it was going to be something that people would want to read and want to connect with. So the best advice that I can give, like there's all the technical stuff, right? Oh, like make sure you have a good cover, make sure you have good marketing, right? But like all of that, like deep down, that's all symptomatic of the larger cause, which is if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not organically writing what is truth, what your truth is, and then believing that you can put that out there in a way that other people will respond to, you will never want to spend the money on it because you're not completely convinced that it will work. And this is a totally different thing than anything I've ever done in the past. And I mean, we don't know. The book hasn't been published yet, so we'll see. Right?
We'll come back to this.
So far, I have gotten like positive feedback from it, and that for the majority of things, it is what I thought, which was that it does speak to a lot of women. And so that's like, I know, like, that's why I was like, it's going to sound corny, but it's true.
No, I think it's true. I think exactly what you said of like, you have to be your book's number one fan.
Sure.
Like you have to be, you're the one who's spending the most time with it. And like, if you aren't confident in it, then like I feel like people can tell, you know, and they're like, you know, here, read this book maybe, but like, no, like this is the book. I love that. Okay, the question we always end on is, what is a have to read book that you are always recommending to people?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't like, it's not that I don't read romance. It's just that I love dark, irreverent humor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so my favorite author, I mean, he's dead now. But my favorite author is Kurt Vonnegut, which a lot of people don't know who Kurt Vonnegut is.
I have no
that
idea
are romance readers, which is totally fine. But
I know I have read some Kurt Vonnegut. So
okay.
Wow, Neely, look at you.
Yeah.
I used to have a much more diverse reading palette than I currently
So I don't know
do.
if you ever read Sirens of Titan.
I haven't read that, no.
So it's like, I love the book and it's so hard to explain what it is. But it is this like self journey and like this journey of discovering who you are and this sort of like societal just like things that have been put on you and how that motivates your life. There is romance in it. It's just, it's definitely science fiction. Like there's time travel and, you know, like all of this type of stuff. And I just really love it. And Kurt is one of those authors that was very funny in a dark way.
Yeah. And so that's what you needed at the time. Yeah.
She's coughing, guys. Just give her a second.
Don't worry. It's that time. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
No.
It just like totally takes me out of the moment. But no, he was very funny in a very dry way. I love dry humor. Like dry humor is just like, honestly, like dry humor is peak romance for me. Like if a guy could come to me and would be like, dry humor plus dad jokes. Like, oh, if you could make like a dry dad joke, which most dad jokes are pretty dry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Immediate smash. I just like, right. And so like, Kurt just had this way about him of the way his writing was and stuff like that. And it was I think it was also like one of the first books that I had read probably like my senior year in high school that really kind of like got me back into reading. Because for the longest time in middle school, I read tons and tons and tons of high fantasy. Like that was what I was reading. I was reading a lot of like Mercedes Lackey, if you guys are familiar with her. She wrote through Torah Fantasy all through like the 90s and the thousands. And I read like all of her stuff, right? Just a lot of high fantasy. It was one of the first things that I read that was not that and was a little bit more grounded. And was just like more commentary and was funny. I don't know. And I just remember too, it was like when I found that book, I had this like this time of my life of transition. And so I remember like taking my beach chair and like sitting on my porch and just like sitting there with coffee by myself and reading the book. And maybe that was more about why it spoke to me than anything else, because it was just my own life at the time. But that is a very that book.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought of like these books are like, yes, they in and of themselves are like maybe transformational, but like really it's also a lot about like what's happening in your life at the time and why is that sticking with you.
That's right.
So yeah, that's interesting. I haven't really thought about that a lot. Okay, next thing we do is a rapid fire this or that. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll try not to cough out, but yeah. Go ahead.
Great. We're just going to give you two options. It'll be real quick. Neely, do you want to go first?
Yeah. All right. Love me or stalk me?
Love me.
Yeah. It's what we all want. Yeah. Okay. Dark romance or rom-com?
Rom-com.
Girls' night out or cozy night in?
Girls' night out.
I love it. Okay. This next question is a pick your praise. Good girl or look at me?
This is a lot about me as a person, right?
We ask everyone, don't worry.
We do ask everyone. We also each have our own answer.
Mm-hmm. I think right now I feel like I'm craving more look at me.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's fine. I was not expecting that. I thought for sure we were going to get a good girl out of you.
I definitely thought she was about to say good girl.
I know.
I have a huge listen, I feel like we're all pretty close. I have a huge praise kink, right?
As we all do.
First of all, I need to know who doesn't have a praise king.
Yeah,
because
I'm like very impressed by anybody who doesn't.
Right?
Where do you get that validation? I'm
I
confused.
know, right? Like I need that in my life.
Yeah.
I have a huge praise kink, but I feel like when you match it with like the degro side of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that.
I feel like I could see. I'm gonna break your rules here, right? We started in the middle, like we started at the beginning, and I said like I'm very on brand for breaking your rules because in my head I was like, if he says look at me, and then I do, I'll probably get a good girl from it. So
you are so right.
There you go.
Yeah. So you get both. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, thank you so much for coming on. Will you whore yourself out? So tell people where they can find you.
Oh, sure. So I thought you were going a different direction with that.
I could if you wanted me to. Yeah.
But also whore yourself out. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So you can follow me on all my socials. So I am some form of like Laura Bishop author. So my TikTok is like author Laura Bishop, but then my Instagram is Laura Bishop author. We're just going to go with it. So you can find that. I'm also laurabishopauthor.com. And I have my little website and it's like kind of set up like the book. So like you get there and it's actually like Callahan talking.
Yes, I went there and to get your bio and I was like, whoa, this is like a legit like website
I
where
website myself. And so it makes me happy. Yeah, it makes me so happy when people tell me that they love it.
It was really cool.
I'm like that 2 a.m. like, graphic designing session that I did.
I am very impressed. I was not expecting that. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah. So it's on my website. And then you can look through Simon & Schuster and their imprint Atria. The book it should be in all retailers December 2nd. You can get it in paperback. It also will be in audio. Sebastian York and CJ Bloom are narrating, and that will be a simultaneous release for the audiobook girlies. Just stay tuned. And
this is a different recording than we normally do. We're recording a little bit out. Obviously, we talked at the beginning of the episode about how Halloween is coming. But by the time this episode airs, the book is out everywhere. So you should go pick it up.
Exciting. Yeah. Okay, so then hopefully it'll be like you can go and get it at stores.
And you can go grab it. Yeah, for sure.
And things. So
yes. Very exciting. All right. You can find the podcast everywhere at Smut Show Podcast. And you can find me everywhere at Rachel_M. Lewis.
And you can find me everywhere at Neelykins, except TikTok where I'm Neely Moldovan. And guys, we also love reviews. We love head pats. We love praise.
We love praise.
We love good girls.
We love praise.
With you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So anybody who comments or who leaves a review on Apple Podcasts, especially if you work in a good girl or look at me, I will actually send you a separate treat for the best one. So if you go and leave a 5-star review and work one of those in a very creative way, you will get a special bonus treat from me. So,
I know what I'm doing after this call.
Homework assignments.
You're like 5 stars. All right. And we're about to record a Patreon with Laura, so y'all stay tuned for that if you're a Patreon member. And everybody else, we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.